Hey y'all, this is Rob back with Filthy Rags Outreach with another episode of the Robb Report, So yeah, man, before we get started, you know how I like to do this. I like to shout out my family out there in Detroit. I've been forgetting though, I got brothers and sisters out in Tennessee as well. So shout out to my brothers and sisters in Tennessee because they get mad, you know what I'm saying? I be missing them, and yeah, again, shout out to my block boys out there in Portland, So yeah, before we get started, I just wanted to say just to give you guys just a little bit of more context on what happens in prison, like right now is the time where they do like the legislative sessions, and so just to be honest with you, a lot of guys up in here are counting on the legislators to pass all these different bills that give these guys time off their sentence, right? And the only reason why I bring that up is because, where we come from, if you do the crime, you do the time. If they throw you a bone, that's fine. But a lot of times we do these crimes and we sit around and we waiting for somebody to reverse some laws and stuff to get us out. And I understand the disparities and everything, too. But I just want to put that out there for you young guys out there. Before you guys get stuck in this stuff, just understand, guys go out here, guys shoot these pistols. They get these assault warrants, these murders and stuff. And then when they get these 30 and 40 years, after a while, that time bears on them, and then you start living in regret. And you want a second chance, right? So before you get to that point where you got to sit in here and depend on somebody to give you that second chance, just think before you react out there, So I just wanted to put that out there. It's not bad that people feel that way, but this is our reality, you know what I'm saying? So, if cats had took that time and thought before they act out there, you wouldn't have to sit in here and hope for a miracle and pray to God can give you some time off your sentence, So, yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. Another thing, I just seen how they had this last week we had a couple officers die. And, for me, I think I seen a guy in New York, and that's sad to me because he's young. I don't even think the guy was 23 years old, right? And so that's sad to me because you leave your family behind. You just get married, you leave your wife behind, and sometimes we got to think about other people. I know when we live in our own world, we don't think about these people, but then when you start seeing it, and you have a heart, it's not a good thing, So, shout out to that family, prayers, thoughts with you guys, really sad about that, And so, guys was coming down on me a couple weeks ago because I was saying the defund message, but, that's exactly why we need them guys out there to protect the streets, and they deserve a right to live and have families just like we think we deserve the right to live and have a family. So I just want to be fair in how I view things, But anyways, I got my engineer Jessica Justice in the house. What's up now?
What's up?
I don't know, man. You tell me what's going on in Filthy Rags Outreach world.
Man, same old. Actually, you know what? We made some actually really good connections this week. We got a sister, Jamie, on board. She's going to be helping us formulate and develop our domestic violence branch or whatever you want to call it. And then we have our boy Caesar, who's been faithful since day one. He's made some contacts, sounds like in the mayor's office in Seattle. So we'll see how that unfolds. We're still looking for funding. We're still, and then also Jamie connected us with a gal that she knows that is a grant writer. So hopefully with the new connections we're making, we'll make some progress. And as always, anybody listening is welcome to donate to our cause. We have a donate page on our website. If you believe in the work that we're doing, you want to see us move forward, please contribute. Your donations are tax deductible.
Okay, now check it out, because I know recently, we did a little campaign where you guys was reaching out to some of the athletes, and we're looking for some of that community-style support for some of these people that's already made it to come from these neighborhoods and different things. What's that looking like? Is we not getting any responses on that, or talk to me what that looks like?
Well, we've sent out a bunch of different letters to, like you said, athletes, corporations, foundations. Haven't had any luck, any responses yet, but we're still pushing. If anybody listening knows of any celebrities that they want to connect us with or want to give us some contact information so we can send them some information, that would be great. Actually, there is somebody that I did connect with on Instagram. I've been kind of keeping it on the DL because I'm trying to set this up, but I got a hold of X-Rated.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I like that.
So I let him know
That's what's good. I like it.
Yep, I let him know about Filthy Rags Outreach and what we're doing. So I'm trying to set up something to where we can send him some information. Maybe we can get him on a podcast.
Oh yeah, that'd be dope, you know. And for those that don't know, X-Rated did. He had an album out called 25 to Life back in the day, and then they ended up taking him down for 25 to Life. I guess they thought that there were some lyrics in there that implicated him in a homicide or whatever. And it's good that he's out there trying to help out in the community. Now, Jessica, one of the things that I was thinking too, right? I was talking to Champ. And I emailed you last night. You didn't get me back, you know, but it's good. And what I was trying to figure out is, like, what our following is like, you know. And so, man, I was just telling Champ, I think that we need to request that the people that are listening tell other people about us. So that, because I think that a lot of times, you know, followers makes a difference, because, you know, if everyone's just putting it out there and saying, hey, man, check these people out, then the right person eventually taps in. So what's your thoughts on that?
No, that's exactly how it works. You know, sharing our podcast, sharing our posts, our blogs, just getting that information out there. You know, word of mouth is the most powerful marketing tool. So if anybody listening, you know, really just share our podcast. Let people know about what we're doing. If you believe in what we're doing, you know, really just share, like, subscribe, all that good stuff.
Right on. I appreciate that, Jessica. So I wanted to tell these guys, I want to get LG on the horn, but I want to, before I say that, I want people to know something too, right? So, like, a lot of times when we come to prison and everything, people say, hey, you got what you deserve. And for the most part, you know, you do a crime, you're supposed to do the time, you know. But at the same time, we want to be treated humanely too. So just so you guys have a better idea of what we're going through right now with the COVID, we're in a situation where we're on lockdown. And so with this lockdown, we're barely getting any time to go to yard to exercise. Today we got an hour, you know, to go out, which is good, because these men are all stuck around each other. But they're feeding us basically peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for breakfast every day. This has been going on for like 2 months. It's just ridiculous. And when you reach out and say, hey, man, this is inhumane, nobody talks to us. You know, we don't have any video visits for our family. Visits are canceled, and so then our machine is broke, and you know, and we try to be like, yo, you know, we're trying to work with you guys, work with us and help us out, right? So it gets to a point where, you know, we're just a number, and we're treated inhumane. And so, like, a lot of times people don't understand, like, it's rough on us too, you know, and the only thing that we have left is our family, you know. And then when you start taking that from us, it's like we got nothing. It's just a whole bunch of men, and we're just around each other, and then we just, you know, guys eventually get to a point where they just don't like each other, so then you just start beefing with each other, right? So that's what we going through up here. But, you know, we keep it in prayer. You know, we had a little sit down yesterday where we talked to some of the brothers, and we just was talking about our feelings and how we can use each other to defuse situations and different things like that. So the work is continuous. You know, we have to talk to each other and be our brother's keepers, you know. So this work is still going. We're doing the best we can in the worst situations, you know. So I just wanted to put that out there. Hey, Jessica, see what's up, man. I ain't been talking to my guy LG in a while. See if we can get him on the line real quick.
All right.
Hello?
Hello, may I speak with Lester, please?
Who's calling?
It's Rob, man. What's up?
Oh, what's up, bro?
What's up, man? You been ignoring me, man. What's good?
I just sent you a message.
Oh, did you? You must have just sent it then. What's going on, man?
Bro, I literally just sent that motherfucker. Just press send.
Oh, okay. Hey, hold on a sec, bro. Don't get alarmed when I tell you this. Don't get alarmed, bro. So just the only reason why I'm finna stop you because you was already cussing, man. You on my podcast show. You know what I'm saying? I'm on my show. You know what I'm saying? We call this taking it to the streets. You dig what I'm saying? So I just, so we got a fan base of a lot of people that are, you know, from religious backgrounds and different things of that nature. But the reason why I tapped in with you is because, you know, you came from the prison and everything, right? And so, like, you know, you got a story to tell. And so, like, yeah, man, you on the show, man. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I've been trying to but you've been ignoring me. if you would have tapped in with me, you would already be knowing these type of things, right? So we man, you know, and it's like, and I know you're free and everything, but anyways, man, check it out. You know, you was locked up, man. So just let the people know real quick, man. You know, just give a little background, give a little bio about yourself, man.
Well, yeah, man. I come from the city. started off being intrigued by the streets, man, and finding myself in trouble from time to time, and found myself behind the walls, looking in the mirror at myself, like, man, with a 24-year sentence, like, what I'm gonna do now? Who I want to be now? Is this it? Is this what I choose? And through the grace of God and good folks and even bad folks doing stuff they weren't supposed to do, I was able to get home, man, and now I'm into this construction thing, which I never was into, wasn't raised doing it, didn't know nothing about it. Found it to be intriguing, man. And
hey, listen,
started a company behind
I don't want to cut you off. I want to take it back a minute, though, because we was locked up together, right? And so, like, when we was on the yard, a lot of times cats was thinking we was talking about just garbage. You know what I'm saying? What was we talking about, though? I mean, we talked about a little love and hip-hop, but what was we talking about?
Yeah, you have to. Man, we talked about things like this, man. We talked about business. We talked about, family. We talked about important things, never coming back and building each other, man, and looking out for each other and giving back to the community and becoming somebody. We talked about a lot of positive things, man. Like you said, every now and then, we'll, just talk about some nonsense. But for the most part, if we out there for 3 hours, 2.5 hours of it is positive.
Yeah, and check this out, bro. It's crazy because you used to pull me out there for 3 hours. You used to demand that I come out there, stay out there for you for 3 hours, and I used to get mad.
Right.
But now we got this COVID going on, and they don't want to give us no yard. You know what I'm saying? So it's like now we scrapping to get out to the yard. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy. But I want you to talk to these people real quick about like some of the hatred. You know what I'm saying? That comes with doing the time, where just because you ain't from where somebody else is from or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Just whatever you can think of off the top. Just like talk about what that division and what that hate for each other looks like, even when you don't get to know a cat.
Yeah. I think it's all ignorant to people, man, because just quickly, I had a little young dude, that was actually, from the Seattle area, and he had told me, like a couple cats he was with didn't care too much about me. Now, mind you, I didn't know these dudes, obviously. I'm from a whole different side of the state, and, they don't know much about me at all. But to somebody else not liking me, the youngster almost didn't get a lot of time that we put together. We ended up putting a lot of time together, man. And, he got a lot of positive information from my understanding from me, and going off the vibes that I gave him, But before that, it's mine. I was somebody not to like, And so it really comes down to ignorance, man. And sometimes, people will put their ignorance off on you or the people they around just to keep themselves comfortable, man. And so the hatred, and I don't even think it's hatred. I think it's more like just, like I said, ignorance, man, of not knowing somebody and going off of maybe what somebody else said, which is obviously what has to happen. If you don't know me, you can only go off what somebody you close to tells you. You know what I mean? It ain't no difference than if you growing up and somebody from down the street you don't mess with because somebody across the street from you do mess with, and if they don't like you, I don't like you. And, that's how it goes, And so that's what it's all about, man. Like I said, I don't think it's hatred at all, man. I think it's just the ignorance, man, and lack of understanding and fear of letting somebody in that you don't know,
Right,
which we all know. If you're from the street somewhere down the line, you bumped into somebody from another state or another neighborhood or another whatever city, and you found yourself to have a more liking with them than you did with some of the dudes you known for a long time. So,
right.
It comes down to opening up, being mature, and selective of who you deal with.
Yeah, see, and I just felt like sometimes, cats will see us shining a little bit, just because we just be who we is, and then, it's like, he's shining more than me, so I'm mad, right? But But I want to switch gears real quick, because you had to raise your kids up in here. You know what I mean? And your son is pretty much in doing good now. So I mean, just transition backwards to like your son coming up here all the time and all that stuff, and then being able to get out and be with him and get him into college and stuff. Because we on the timeline. So I want to get you. I want to get your story out there.
Yeah, man. Well, just like anybody else that's involved with their kids while they're still away, or not dealing with them, in a way that they would like to. It was tough. We spoke through letters. I made sure I called. I made sure things like that, and I also made sure that my kids understood the reality of where I was and what it does, and what it is. But for the most part, it was tough, and then the transition of coming home to them, my son being 6, and then I come home, he's 15, my daughter's being 1, I come home, she's 10, it's a big difference, it's a different understanding, but my dedication was to them, I lost a good job behind always, making sure that I'm going to my son's it was just little summer games, you know what I'm saying, basketball summer games, but I was not going to miss it, you know what I'm saying, for nothing, and the money wasn't even, important.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
Yeah, it was what I had to build with him, man. So, it just became, you got to build the dedication.
Yeah, hey, look, L, my phone's hanging up, man, but what I'm going to try to do, because we got these big old phone lines, I'm going to try to catch you in the next 10 minutes. If you don't hear back from me, then I'm going to catch up and I'm going to get you the information so you can hear yourself on the podcast. But I'm going to definitely tap right back in with you because I got to come on, man.
You have 30 seconds remaining.
You know what's up. But we
hit me, man. I'm just organizing.
Just hold on.
Organizing, yes.
Yeah, and
I'm here.
I got to get more of your story out there. So I'm going to call you back, bro.
Yeah, hit me.
This is a Global Tel-Link prepaid call from
Rob.
an inmate at Alfred Creek Correction Center. This call will be recorded and monitored. Thank you.
Hello.
What up, bro? I'm back.
Yep.
Yeah, bro, you know what's up, man. Like, even when I first got here, you probably don't remember, right? But when we stood on that yard, formulating the plan, so like my plan now is to really start trying to impact the streets and trying to, make change, but trying to speak truth to power and make the people that don't understand, like, a lot of times people don't realize, like, we're in prison, but a lot of times we're living with regret. You know what I'm saying? We don't know how to vocalize our feelings. When we got sentenced, we didn't know how to speak that remorse and these different things. So people think, they're just remorseful, they're this, they're that. But we sit back and we see all the ignorance and we're like, damn, bro, you know what I mean? And then it's like, yo, I participated in this genocide, And so like, for example, last month there was like 9 murders in Portland, man. What the hell is going on out there?
Oh, man, same thing, man. Bunch of ignorance, man. Disagreements, bunch of hurt. You know what I mean? Bunch of people that don't know how to communicate. No leadership, man, money, man, too. Lack of money, man. And, nowadays, man, life is cheap. You know what I'm saying? It's all kind of things that goes on with that, man. And politics with that, man. But it's a lot of hurt, man. It's a lot of young dudes and stuff, man. A lot of cats running out here hurt. And, don't know how to express it, man. And ain't getting the proper help. Mentally to be able to work through these things that they're going through, man.
Right.
That's what's wrong, man. That's what I think. Social media?
Do you think social media plays into it?
I mean, for people, I mean, you gotta understand, man. Like, you do understand anyway. I should say, people kind of they go off of what other people think and say. So, of course, I think social media got a lot to do with it because if something happens, and somebody try to put it out there, and, the way people are, they're vocally try to hurt people, man. You know what I mean? So it could be somebody getting killed, man, and somebody else can go on the screen or these computer screens and do what they do and talk about it, and talk about that dead person. And so that from there, you get people that's not even really involved pissed off and want to be a part of something that, they ain't even in the middle of it. But since you want here to talk about my nephew, now I'm mad. You know what I'm saying? And so man, social media is a mess, man. Because a lot of people be embarrassed with stuff, you know, man, and they doing stuff for attention. And I think fame always been something that a lot of people chase, you know, and the fact that you can actually, you know, it's just sloppy stuff going on, man, you know.
Right,
so,
right.
Yeah, I would definitely say yes. Go ahead.
Well, I know, like, even recently, you know, you had to do a little bit of intervention work yourself, like when 12 and them guys got killed out there, you know, talking to a lot of these youngsters and stuff. And I know it's not hard, but what is it like, man, like even trying to approach somebody after somebody you know gets smoked? What's that like, though? You know what I mean? Like, what's that conversation consist of? How can you reach somebody?
Well, you got to move with caution, man, for one, because you talking to a person that's distraught at that moment. You know what I mean? And truthfully, you don't know what their reaction is going to be because you don't know who somebody is until they're put in a situation. So people you may know, something happened, they're going to be a whole different person. You know what I mean? So for me, it's all about common sense. You know, I approach that situation with caution, but I also make sure that I make somebody understand, like, this is a lifestyle. And most people in this lifestyle, you know, they choose it. And at a certain age, you really dedicated to it. You know what I mean? So if you're doing stuff you ain't supposed to do at a certain age, I'm talking like late 20s, 30s, stuff like that where you should have been grew up, man, you chose that. And so the reality is you have to, you know, if you somebody from the outside looking in, you ain't got nothing to do with streets and stuff like that. You don't need to be involved in it just because somebody made a bad decision. It's unfortunate they lost their life behind it, but imagine the cycle that comes along with it if you keep it going. You know, so yeah, it's a thin line, man, on how you. But you know, hey, if you want to do something, then you do what you do. You know, I can't stop that. I can only put it in your head put it in your ear before you do it. And if you listen, then you might be able to cope with it. If you listen and you can't cope with it, and hey, man, you know.
Yeah, it's a fine line, bro. You know, and that's something like I'm still working with the fellas up here. Do you remember Alfonso and Champ? Do you remember them guys?
Yeah, I remember them brothers.
What you remember about them?
I mean, they was good brothers for one, you know, and they was actually, you know, some cats that wasn't from where we was from, but was easy to get along with because of their character and the style of person that they were, you know. They were open to communication and dealing with people that they don't know or just on positive vibes, whether it was, you know, walking to church or, you know, sitting on the yard or whatever. It's going to be a good situation with them, with brothers like them. You know what I mean? Like, so, yeah, that's easy. It's easy to, cause we got brothers like that, you know?
Yeah. See, they put together the Filthy Rags outreach. I don't know, you wasn't around. I think you was able to release before we got this thing popping. And so, you know, basically what we're doing is we're trying to educate the public, but we're also doing a lot of work on the inside. You know, working with these young cats. Like last night, we just had we just pulled all the brothers together in this unit. We just had a big old conversation because, you know, cats is feeling some kind of way. We just had some incidents happen over in A6, and, you know, it's just crazy, bro. You don't even recognize this. I'm telling you, bro, this ain't what you left.
Right.
You know, this is off the hook. We got these young kids coming in here, fresh off the streets, you know what I'm saying? They like on the set, N-word this, N-word that, screw your neighborhood, whatever, right? And so you got
no
adults up in an uproar. You feel me? It's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, so like, where's that fine line? How do we reach these cats? And then a lot of the older guys, you know, they want to react, and I'm the type of person like, yo, dog, you know, our kids are that age. So if you can't handle that, how you gonna handle your kids? How you gonna talk to your grandkids if you want to just throw these guys away? You know, that's why we're in these situations, right? But I wanted to go double back on you. How was you able to keep your son from getting involved in all this crap?
Oh man, it was easy, man. Like as far as being involved physically. Now mentally, the music they listen to, the stuff they see on social media, you can't control that. People say and think they can, but you can't. So for me, it was all about, okay, you like to play sports, you pretty good at it. So I'm going to keep you in this gym. I'm going to keep you in these workouts. You know, if I got to drive an hour every day for you to go work out, that's what we doing. 4 days a week. Boom, we up there working out. You know what I mean? showing, sitting down every now and then. Hey, man, watch these sports. Do this, do that. It's just being a presence. You got to physically be there with them because that helps. You got to understand your kids is either at school or they being raised with their friends because they spending more time with them than they are with you. And that's always been, and that's going to always be. They're going to spend more time. So if I look to my right and my left and you the same age as me, I don't know who's going to make the adult decision. If we 16, 17, ain't nobody around. But if I'm physically there in the chance, and so when you out of school, now you with me or you at one of your sport events, it's going to keep you away from the streets, man. And it's still going to be enticing because depending on your culture or how you are, or how your family is, it's just like having an older cousin that's into the streets. No matter what, you're going to look up to that older cousin. You know what I mean? I was just telling a female friend of that thing. She like, oh, well, my daughter be looking up to my brother's daughter, blah, blah, blah. I said, well, she's an older cousin. Yeah, she don't make the right decisions, but she's an older cousin, so she's going to always look up to her. It's on you to just teach her or show her different things on how to really react to life. But as far as her looking at her and being like, oh, glorifying it, man, we all did that, man. Whether it was a rapper, an athlete, a street cat, a cat up, a uncle, a dad. Well, a lot of us didn't, wasn't have that dad right there. But, for the most part, whoever you looking at, you know what I mean, you going to idolize that.
Right. Let me ask you this, bro. Because we ain't mentioned you got a daughter too, though. So how do you, and that I know that's got to be harder because you out there now. You said you got out, she was 10, so you hands on, and I know she's an athlete too. But I know, it's harder. It's harder to raise what they say in theory. I don't know. I don't have no daughters. I got granddaughters, but they say in theory it's harder to raise a little young lady. So what's up?
Way harder.
What's that looking? What's that world looking like? Oh yeah.
Well, it's way harder because you're not a girl, you don't really know the girl, so you got to kind of lean on the mom or lean on auntie or lean on grandma for little certain things. But for the most part, it's tough because they get to that age where they do like boys and they listen to music and you know what I mean? But like, say for instance, the way I go hard on my son, there is no leeway. You know what I mean? I'm a cuss, I'm a, grab, everything's aggression. Everything's aggressive because that's what I'm preparing him for. Because that's the lifestyle he lives as far as being an athlete and this and that. And as far as the world that he's going to come into, you got to be prepared. You got to be tough. It's just automatic. You know what I'm saying? Now for their daughter, I can't approach it like that. You know what I mean? Like I can't go in her room and be like, nah, get your butt up because you doing this anyway. Like there's gonna be resistance. First of all, you daddy, you're gonna be soft on your daughter anyway. But then, you know what I mean? Like if she's gonna resist and have her reason of why she can't, and you gonna automatically kind of like kind of fall back a little bit. It ain't as easy, man, but it's the same thing. You keep her little butt in the court, keep her butt on the court. My daughter didn't want to try out for basketball at all. First day of tryouts, soon as she came back, she was in. Now it's like, okay, cool. Let's get it on now. Now she's looking like one of the, her coaches, hey, you the defensive, you get the ball for the game ball because it is the net. You know what I mean? Like now you a participant. It's just explaining to them, showing them what they like. A lot of girls feel like they pretty. Yeah. Some girls don't understand you was born to be an athlete. You know what I mean? Like your friends may be like this and that, but that ain't you. In your blood, you're an athlete. So you finna run track. You finna play volleyball. You finna play basketball all year round. You know what I mean? So and that's how you do it, man. I mean, but this is my first time, so I'm not an expert. It's my first daughter. It's my only daughter, so I'm not an expert, but this is how I plan to go about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So let me ask you this real quick. So no more kids? You done?
Oh man, all the way done, man. Like, hey man, I'll never. Hey man, listen. Hey, I'm coming from what they say, man. You're coming from the mud, man. Hey, it's hard to come from the mud, man, and stack your chippers, man, and hey, listen, I need y'all out the house, man, so I can go get me a little small condo. I don't want no maintenance, I'm in my yard right now, brother, you know what I mean? Like, this is what I work hard all week, and then I come home, man, and I'm doing, I done remodeled bathrooms and built decks and everything to this house, man. These kids, man, and that's another thing, these kids don't appreciate nothing, everything so fast to them, everything quick,
Right.
Man, they don't appreciate nothing out here, man. These kids,
I know. But listen, I want to ask you real quick, because what we did, Miss, is that you was able to get out, go coaching with your son, and you got him into college. Now that we got him in college, let's talk about some of that. Like when he get around all these other cats and they get away from the house, and now they acting a donkey. Talk about it.
Right. Oh, man. So that situation right there is another one of them things that's out of your control. So I just came to the realization, you know, around Christmas, a little around the time he came back home for his winter break. You know, like I told him, bro, look, I did everything I can do. You know what I'm saying? We got there. I mean, we fought hard, man. We went from state to state to get this scholarship, man, and put you in front of these colleges. So many colleges wanted you. I mean, so many. And, you know, we didn't understand the grade situation, but boom, we got there. Now you there. Now, you know, fortunately for him, he's in Vegas. You know, beautiful women, beautiful sun, beautiful this, beautiful everything, beautiful. And y'all in the, you know, they just love him. So, you know, it's tough because it's the same scenario all over again. Except for now, I'm fighting Las Vegas, I'm fighting your friends, and I'm fighting the bad females and all this stuff from a distance. You know what I mean? So I can't pull up on you and be like, hey, let's go do this and do that, you know? So it's all on him. So the tough part is, you know, just realize it for me, I understand how life works. You get one opportunity, you may get another one, but it won't be in that same situation. You know what I mean? You might turn around and get out here. Now you might have to be a plumber or something because you skipped out on the first opportunity you got. So it's tough. It's tough to stop that because I've never been at that level. So all I can do is trust that these coaches, these other men that's around him who has been there, who has been on a pro level, who has been at that Division I level, can explain to him better than I can. Because I can only say so much before he like, you know, I mean, he ain't going to say it to my face, but the reality is, what do I know? You know what I'm saying? I ain't been in that position. I can only say so much. You feel me? But as a man, I can tell you how to move like a man, because as a man, I can walk into any room as a man and feel comfortable as who I am. So I can teach you that part. You know what I'm saying? And I can teach you if I see you not being yourself, or I feel like you doing something that ain't really you or ain't going to benefit you, I can check you on that still and be like, bro, you look like a buster. You know what I'm saying? You doing something that a buster would do, bro. You know what I'm saying? You don't know it because you just going off of everybody around you. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, but the reality is I haven't been as popular as him. I wasn't signing autographs in high school. I wasn't, you know, having a bunch of people, hundreds and thousands of people screaming at me. So I don't know, you know. I don't know.
Okay, well, look, check it out, you know, and that's just a big up to you because you got out of prison, right? And you was able to raise your family. You able to get your son in college. A lot of people don't got that story because I'm going to tell you, bro, a lot of cats here ain't even tapping in with their kids. That's just 100. They got no relationship with the kids, period. You know what I mean? That's what it is, flat out. Yeah. And I'm like, yo, you know, you got a daughter out there, you got a kid out there, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to be there for your kids, right? And cats ain't hearing me, man, you know, but some is, some ain't, right? But his main thing is, we got these kids, right? And it's like, bro, we put these lifestyles over our kids, and it's like, man, they're going to have resentment, you know, no matter what. You know, you can be doing your thing, you can get out and make $1 million, and your kid can be like, Dad, I'm still pissed about what you did 30 years ago. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And so, so what I wanted to do real quick is I didn't want to get lost in it, but I want to also talk about the fact that you was able to get out, establish a business in the community, and help people getting out of prison and getting jobs and stuff like that really quick, because I know our time's going to run up, but I wanted to get into that real quick because these people need to understand that cats can get out, and cats is trying to get out and help. You one of them guys. You one of them guys that's going to be running that community, so talk about that. And by the way, shout out to Vancouver, Washington, too. Go ahead, do your thing.
No doubt, man, no doubt. Man, listen, it's a sacrifice, bro. You know, like, it's a sacrifice, man, and you gotta, if you went long enough, man, putting yourself first and putting your life on the line and doing all the stuff you did, and if you get to it, like I said, a certain age where you make that decision, like I'm either going to be this or I'm going to be that. If I was to get out and get in the streets, I would have been 100% all in. You see what I'm saying? When I decided that I'm not messing around or I'm not going to BS around, I was 100% all in with that. As a parent, you got to be all in with that, man. You know, and so, yeah, guys ain't going to listen, but you got guys out here that's up the street from their kids that don't do nothing for their kids all around the corner. You know what I mean? So it ain't really much you can do about that if it ain't in somebody. You can't beat it in them. If they old enough to have kids and you got to explain it to them, bro, you wasting your time. You know what I'm saying? But as far as, like, as far as like me, man, and being able to look at the situation I had, I was, like I said, I was all in, man. You know, I got my son's coach, Brett Henry, over there at Evergreen High School. He put me on the team just because he seen me on the sideline and he seen the way these boys that he don't have no understanding with, because he's a white dude. He seen how they was interacting with me, and he's like, man, he just wanted me around for that. They put me on the staff. You know what I mean? The school district tried to fire me for you know, because of my history, and then the principal at the school and the athletic director at the school went to the school district like, hey, nah, we got somebody, and it's probably mainly because of my son being the best athlete in the school, but they went and stood up for me, you know, like, God, man, this dude, you know, this dude's coming up here after hours. He's opening the gym, the weight room for all the boys. You know, I had a key to the school. Like, it was crazy, bro. I was a coach all of a sudden. And I'm trying to explain to these little hard-headed kids, look, bro, I ain't no coach. Don't play with me. You know, but at the end of the day, man, you know, I was a coach. I was a mentor. I was back in the community, and I had to have that understanding, like, this is my calling. I talk to some of them boys nowadays. Some of them banging and stuff like that.
Remaining.
They ran to the street, but they still, like, I see them on Instagram and stuff. We message each other, so, you know, it's good, man. You know, it's all good
look,
now.
Man, check it out, bro. Check it out, bro. You know, you gonna stay friends with my show, man. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna have Jessica get in so you can hear the show. But one thing that I gotta say before we get out of here, you know, you doing your thing. You got your business out there. You sent me some pictures of you in Cancun. But I'm gonna tell
you have 30 seconds remaining.
I can appreciate that you out there living your life and doing all that and doing your things. But when you send me pictures in Cancun, you gotta send me some pictures. You understand what I'm saying?
Hey, well, I can't just be, I ain't no photographer. I can't just go around taking pictures of the locals, man. You have me get the rest
I love
out
you,
there,
man. I love you.
Love you too,
I love you, man. Keep doing well out here, man. You somebody to look up to out there. You know I look up to you. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you on big.
Thank you.